starting back up on YouTube, welcoming myself back after 11 months. The car's no longer in the driveway, so we've got a lot to catch up on. I'm going to do pretty much the entirety of 2023. I'm going to compress it down into one really tight video, go over everything that's happened, do a full build rundown, break some stuff down, cost-wise, all that. I'll do a voiceover after I finish making the edit, and yeah. Let's just appreciate this video and how clean and shiny the entire car is. Whoopsies! Contrary to popular belief, I hydroplaned into a gutter and it resulted in that. Pretty much that's what led up to this whole build. The build wouldn't have kick-started. Well, I already had stuff planned to do to the car at the start of last year, but that whole incident kind of kick-started it early, premature, to say the least. After that, I posted a couple videos on YouTube, which you can flick through and have a look, remove some sound deadening, pulled the motor out, got it all ready, and then after that I kind of just gave up and stopped, purely because I didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't be bothered, and I could be a lot more uncensored, and I could be myself on TikTok, whereas on here I've got to really limit myself in what I say. I can't use a whole variety of music choices, blah 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 blah. But 2024, new me, you know, get the gist. Got to try and push myself to get more content out, get it all going, kickstart kind of the, you know, content creating career sort of thing. But yeah, pretty much we'll just get straight into, well, yeah, what happened after that, after I just disappeared. Also probably going to stick with photos for the majority of this, because it's going to be a lot easier to do a voiceover without having to remove all the sounds of the videos, and yeah, just it's going to make it easier, and then you can actually visualize what's going on, and I'll just explain it on top of that. This photo was taken directly after I finished making the last YouTube video. Finished stripping all the front end out. This is where I got a lot of inspiration from this photo. I just looked at it and visualized exactly what I wanted to do. Grabbed a new front end out of my mate's car that he didn't have any plans for, so I bought it off him. Grabbed the front end out, used that. Moved on to the sound deadening because I was still waiting for parts. That's why it's going to be a bit choppy. This is all in time order as well. Put the carpet back in after steam cleaning it. Looked awesome. This is where I started to cap the chassis rails. It was kind of a, while I'm here, I may as well do this. Sanded it all back, made it all flush. Long nights, like I cannot tell you the amount of hours that I've put into this, just the bay alone. Folded up some sheet metal boxes for the intake and the battery box. Moved back onto the fuse box. This, I didn't have to extend any wires, but it was a bit tricky to get in there, and it is all a bit tight. Came out looking really nice. Rest in peace to my fresh carpet that I finished cleaning, because it just got annihilated while working in the car. Keep this in mind for later in the video. While I was bored, I made up a custom belt setup, which I'll explain later in the video. Put the rest of the interior back in, cleaned it all up a little bit, made it look a bit prettier, moved on to a boot setup while I was still waiting for more parts. Getting to that later on, it's not finished yet though. High build out of a gun, came out alright, still had lots to go. Went back to wiring again, still waiting for paint and parts to come in. Ended up moving the car around because I wasn't happy with where it was, couldn't work on it in the rain properly, moved it under the cover a lot easier. This is the colour that I later chose for the bay. Ended up running with an Astra power steering conversion, custom made up that bracket, had to notch out where the headlight is for the battery as well. This photo is the brake lines beforehand, and that is after. Reran all brake lines in the front end. Was awesome. That was, pretty sure that was me wet sanding the bay. Finally painted. I done this at 8 o'clock at night. It was like 6 degrees outside. The clear actually turned yellow, and then the next day it was good, and it came out, for my first time painting out of a gun, it came out awesome. I did cut and buff a fair amount of the bay. It's not fully done yet, but like it's glassy. The parts that I put attention to, it's glassy, and I love it. Right up to this point, that had taken the most amount of time, considering all the work that has been done. That was the majority of 8 months, was just in the bay, custom mounting things up, making all the smaller stuff work. Shaving the bay was kind of a last minute decision, and that's why the car's taken so long. So happy that I've done it, because I mean, look at how it's turned out. I'm over the moon with it. I can't complain. Pretty much up to this stage, all of this was the easy stuff, just piecing together the rest of the car. Put all the front end back together, bolted it all up, torqued it all down to spec. Everything is new, brand new. I've just resprayed everything. Finally getting into mocking up how I want the motor to look, and I've decided to go with a lot of chrome. This was just an eco bottom end that I kind of mocked up all of my new shiny parts on. That's with the custom belt set up from earlier. Really addicted to shiny stuff, like really addicted. Finally went to go pick up my bottom end. It is fully built, forged internals, stage 2 cam, double row timing chain, LS7 lifters, Cometic head gaskets, like multi-layered steel, balance shaft elite. It's got pretty much the whole works done. Got it back, painted it the same color as the bay because I thought it would complement nicely, which it actually did. New oil pump gears, started piecing the real motor together now that I could, seeing as I had it all. In love with chrome. I cannot get enough of chrome, as you can see. You know, look at me. I love it. After this, I moved on to tying up loose ends in the bay. Got the Astra power steering all plumbed up the day before I put the motor in. Got it in, didn't scratch the bay at all, thankfully. That guard I'll mention that later on. That's just kind of like a prototype. Kept piecing together more and more of the bay. All of this eventually came back off and then I had to go back on, but I just wanted to see what it all looked like. Just kept going, more shiny stuff. That's an LS alternator conversion I done as well, purely to run. Charger came off to put the intercooler back in. Got the car out of the driveway for the first time in like 9 months. Loaded it up on my nav, which I'm currently building that at the moment. Towed it to work. Got some custom parts fabbed up. My mate actually done that one while he was teaching me how to TIG install. That's the reservoir for the intercooler. It's a bit larger so I can hold more volume. Snap some pics while I was at work. Got some of my favourite photos at work as well. Good times. I was there for every afternoon for like 2 weeks straight. That's one of my favourite photos of my car to this day. Got the car back. That's pretty much it complete. It's how it sits today. Got all the exhaust done. That was a mission as well. Tested it all for electronics. And this is the last time that I saw it. That photo was, as I just said, it was the last time that I seen the car in person. I do have one more photo of it since dropping it off at the tuners. After I got pretty much everything wired up, I had to do wiring harness. I re-ran the wiring harness, re-wrapped it, had to shorten some wires, extend a few wires. I wrapped the harness to be perfectly fitted to the motor because, The alternator's in a different location. A few other things had changed around. I had to mess around with the plugs for the injectors so I could get them to sit behind the rail instead of in front of it like it does factory. Just lots of little changes to make it look near perfect to how I wanted it. Yeah, dropped it off at the tuners. It still has to get the fuel system done there. All the Haltech sensors are going in. It will be running on a Haltech Elite 2500 purely because it will be on flex fuel, map tune, 20 psi pulley. Well, 20 psi. They're not actually measured in psi. It's 2.24 inch. Yeah, that's the aim of the game. It's all done. She's at the tuners. Should get it back soon. And then I can really get into making content on painting the exterior, getting everything else done. This is the most current photo I have of the car in the workshop being worked on. The blacked out part is my mate's motor, which is a whole separate build that I'll get into later on. So as of now, I'm still waiting to get it back. I don't have a license currently, so I've told him to take his time. I want everything to be perfect on it. Doesn't faze me how long it takes him to sort everything out with it. And yeah, then when I get it back, I'll be full swing on YouTube, do little snippets on TikTok. More just uncensored versions because, yeah, got to watch my mouth on here, and anyone who follows me TikTok knows that I like to swear a lot. So this video has taken multiple attempts to do the voiceovers because I slip up and I swear. As for everything else that has happened this year, I have been sort of sponsored by a upcoming car wash brand company. He was actually one of my good mates way back when I was riding BMXs. He reached out to me after multiple years of no contact because I gave up BMXing practically forever and have pursued cars ever since. So I'll make a video on that when I actually get the car back. I'm going to do a whole day of detailing and cleaning it because it's got like months and months and months of just built up dirt and dust that will have to get cut and buffed as well. Give it a good detail with all of his products, make an entire video just on that. I've also been contacted by a tool company, SP Tools, who is officially the sponsor for my build and upcoming builds. Super stoked to have them on board. I cannot thank them enough. They've already sent me out a whole bunch of stuff. I love it. I've got socket sets, a whole spanner set, a whole bunch of different merch. It's unreal. Like this year has been an absolute game changer for me, and I cannot comprehend how much I have grown this year and everything. Like it's unreal. I'm really grateful to have everyone on board with this, and I'm super excited to start hosting meets when I get my license back and when I get the car back and fully operational. As for power figures, I'm going to come out on a happy note and say 300 kilowatts at the wheels. I don't know if it'll make just that. There are more things I can do in the future to increase the power. Just simple bolt-ons. Yeah, just general stuff like that. But 300 is the aim. I've done a lot of weight reduction on the car itself. I will have it professionally weighed. I don't know if the correct term will be professionally weighed, but I'm going to get it weighed so I can compare the power to weight ratio pretty much. In the meantime, in between building the car, I have had probably 8 or 9 cars this year. I'll include a photo of all of them and just do a little really quick brief thing that happened with them and what went on. Got this brown VX as a daily, picked it up for $1,000. It was pretty cool. Not much to it. Actually used it to tow another car home, which was a manual VX. Really enjoyed driving that. It had lift to tick, which I fixed, blew the motor up, later swapped it out for an L67, which you'll see in the next video. And then I straight swapped this for the nav, which was a pretty good deal, in my opinion, because it only owed me, again, $1,000. Paid $1,000 for it. And yeah. Swapped the brown car, the brown VX, plus 5K on top for this XR6 Turbo. Loved it. Ended up selling that for $9,000, which helped me out. This was said nav. I've taken it off-roading a whole handful of times, but busted a brake line, fixed that up. Bought the missus a VX for her birthday, which I'll do a build series on that later on. And yeah, just living life in the nav in the downtime. Started on the tray build, and this is where it's at today. But I am going to be doing more YouTube videos on the nav itself, as that's the only other current car that I own. And then, yeah, more YouTube once the VX comes back, which I'm pretty keen for. I really miss it. It's driving me crazy a little bit not having it here. 2 months and counting. Yeah, it's pretty stressful not being able to see it after working on it for almost a year straight. But yeah, that'll finish up this video, and hopefully I get to make another one soon. Like, share, subscribe. Actually, I don't really care that much. Would really help if you did though, because I wanna make 2024 really good.